Soulja Boy is one of the most well-known hip-hop artists in the world, but in today's video I'm gonna dive into the truth of how he stole 2 of my beats and how I still haven't made a single penny from either song. Look, this isn't a video of me bashing Soulja Boy. Yes, I did lose a lot of respect for him when he did this, but I really wanted to make this video so that you can avoid something like this happening to you in the future. So let's get right into it. The story starts in July of 2021. At this point in my career, I had no placements, I wasn't full-time with music, and I definitely had limiting beliefs on whether landing a placement was even possible. That was until I got a DM from my guy King Paris on July 22nd. We were talking about an upcoming project he was working on when all of a sudden he mentioned that Soulja Boy used one of my beats. I was obviously extremely confused by that, and at the time there was actually another Cam J, another producer named Cam J. I think he's still in the industry, and he would land placements all the time. So people would always send me songs, be like, yo, is this your tag? Was this you that produced this song? But every single time it wasn't. So I just assumed it was that other Cam J on this song too, but I always checked it out just in case, and I'm glad I did. The first song that Soulja stole from me was called You Did What, produced by me and Helion.
Cam J, you got another one.
What? Nigga, you did what? The longest way you spin, nigga, you slid what? You shot who?
When I first heard my own tag in this beat, I definitely lost it. If there's any producer out there watching this that's gotten a major placement, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, that first placement feeling. This would go on to be my first ever major placement in my career, and it really taught me so many lessons about how the industry can actually be. But getting back to the story, at this point I was completely on cloud 9. I was calling all my friends and relatives, telling them about this, but it wasn't until I called my dad that I realized what was actually going on. You know how dads are. He asked me how much he paid for the beat, and in that very moment I was like, there's no way that Soulja Boy stole my beat, right? So obviously once emotions faded, I had to get to the bottom of this. At this time I didn't really know how placements worked on the back end, but I did know you needed some form of paperwork even if the song has already dropped. I did my due diligence. I hit up every single person that was involved with the song so that we could get the paperwork squared away. I hit up Soulja Boy himself, I hit up the videographer, I hit up his label, and I even hit up artist friends that were signed to his label as well. No matter who I hit up, there was no response at all, or I got left on red. So things were not looking good at all. But before I even had time to digest everything that was going on, he released another song with one of my beats.
Yeah. Niggas know what's up. Me and Money Gang slide with them chopsticks, we loaded up. They don't say the wrong word, I have my youngest blitz and hit you nigga, up. We slide in Bugattis, nigga, we fucked up them armor backed up.
Obviously at this point I was insanely hype again, but I came to the same conclusion. There was no paperwork and no one ever reached out to clear the song with me. I also realized that this song had my producer tag playing every 16 bars. If you do a free beat in exchange for an email or a follow on BeatStars, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He downloaded the free tagged, free for non-profit version of the beat. So Soulja found my beat off of YouTube or BeatStars, downloaded it for free, then he just released it as if he had bought a lease, which obviously he didn't. After hitting up his close connections again with no success, I was left with no other choice but to get an entertainment lawyer. If you're unfamiliar with what an entertainment lawyer is, essentially it's a lawyer that will work with musicians, actors, filmmakers, or anything in entertainment. These are going to be the lawyers that are going to look over your contracts and make sure you're good on the legal end of things. So I got on a call with him and I explained my situation. Long story short, we both came to the conclusion that it wouldn't be a good idea to go and sue Soulja Boy for stealing both of these instrumentals, because realistically the streams that he got off the song wouldn't even pay for the lawyer fees, and overall just wouldn't be worth it. This definitely sucked to hear, and not gonna lie, it made me look at placement chasing in a bad light for the years to come. The only thing I could do is register the publishing for the song and also use those songs as credibility to work with more people and to sell more beats, kits, or products that I wanted to release. So it's definitely not a complete loss. It's still cool to say that I have a song with Soulja Boy or a couple songs with Soulja Boy, and if you ever find yourself in a similar situation, you can definitely do the same thing. But the other option we had was completely taking the song off of all streaming platforms, because we actually had the proof that he signed up for the free beat download, because I literally had his email on my email list, which is kind of ironic. So since he got the free version, he had no rights to the beat because I'm the sole copyright owner, and I could issue a DMCA strike on the song and take it off all streaming platforms. Thinking back on this 3 years later, we could have absolutely used this as leverage to make him pay for the beat, and I really wish we did that. Most of the time, all you have to do if an artist steals your beat is hit up their lawyers or their manager and threaten a DMCA strike, and then that's when people start moving and they'll actually pay you a license fee or an exclusive fee. But after this whole situation died down, I reached out to several producers that also had songs with him to see if I wasn't the only one that he stole beats from. And what I found out was definitely shocking. It wasn't just me he stole beats from, he pretty much does it to every single producer for every song he puts out. So there are hundreds of producers out there that haven't made a single penny from these songs either. If you're a producer watching this, then I'd recommend maybe once a year go ahead and Shazam your beats or go through Beat ID with BeatStars to see all the artists that are using your beats, uploading them without buying a lease from you. You'll definitely thank me in the long run. Because the reality is, if major artists are doing this, then there's no way that a lot of these smaller artists aren't doing this as well. Like I said, if you threaten to take it down, then 9 times out of 10 they are gonna pay up, or you can just take the song down and it's like nothing happened. Now I did want to talk about how I handled the whole situation, because I was definitely very upset when this happened, and I had every right to be. But I could have easily cursed him out on social media or made countless videos bashing him on social media. I tried to be as professional I could with this whole situation, because if I acted like a toddler on social media, then these other producers and other artists that are watching probably won't work with me in the future. Even if I was right for getting upset in that situation, you always got to keep in mind that whatever you post on the internet, someone can dig up 5, 10, 20 years later and still use that against you. So if you think someone's stolen your beat, then don't react right away, because it could absolutely ruin a relationship going further down the line. There was a possibility that, who knows, maybe they forgot to send out the paperwork, and if I did go and hit them up, then maybe we could have got that paperwork done on the back end. No relationships would have been ruined, and maybe it was just a mistake. So hit up everyone involved, then if they don't answer, get a hold of a lawyer and try to figure it out that way. Listen, no one wants to get their beats stolen by major artists, and since that incident, luckily it hasn't happened to me again. The reason for this is because I spent a lot of time to build up actual connections and relationships with these major artists and other big producers that have connections. If you want to know how I go about networking with producers and major artists to eventually land more placements, then you can go check out this video right here.